So, the Misc Hull A, the new hotness, the beginner transport ship, cargo ship, should I say, in Star Citizen. Some of you may have seen the first impressions little meme video I made about it, just sort of having a bit of fun with it. But I've had a bit more time with the ship now, battled with 317, and now I feel as though I am ready to give you guys my full impressions, my full review on this brand new entry to cargo hauling in Star Citizen. Musashi Industrial and Starflight Concern, or more commonly known as Misc, have had a well-earned reputation for producing high-quality industrial working men's ships in the universe, and the Hull A represents the latest addition to that lineup. The Hull A is the new entry point into true, serious shipping and traders out there looking to haul goods from one end of the system to the other. The Hull A manages to do this in the typically high-tech and unlikely fashion we've come to expect from Misc. From the outside, the ship looks like it couldn't fit more than a few SCU of cargo. It's too narrow, the footprint's too small. But Misc has come up with an ingenious solution to this, a real party piece that let this tiny hauler carry up to 64 SCU of cargo. At the push of a button, the entire back section of the ship containing the main drive thrusters will extend outwards, and a flurry of mechanical whirs and wizardry will deploy folding cargo maglock pads, giving this ship its class-leading carrying capacity. The main competitors at this price point being the consolidated Outland Nomad, the Cutlass Black, and the Aegis Avenger, all coming up seriously short. This means there is no better tool out there to carry large amounts of cargo at a reasonable cost. The question, of course, is why? Why hold the cargo on the exterior of the ship? Why not bring it inside into an internal cargo bay? The answer? Loading times. Right now, Star Citizen's loading and unloading is very, very simple mechanically. You buy cargo, poof, it's on the ship. You sell it, poof, it's off again. This is changing. The cargo refactor is right around the corner, and with it, the physical process of loading and unloading becomes a real task that requires time and manpower. If you're a serious trader, time is money, and what better way to ensure you load and unload as quickly and efficiently as possible than with a ship that can have its cargo lifted off with a crane in record time. It's the same principle a container ship in our day uses: maximum cargo load, minimum loading times, and it's extended to the Hull series. Of course, this does beg the question of security, and simply put, that's not the ship's main purpose or concern. The Hull series should be thought of as a container ship at its largest, and 18-wheeler trucks at its smallest. These have a laser focus on maximum capacity and efficiency through established shipping lanes. They're not the kind of vessel you want to go off the beaten track with. And if you're heading into dicey territory, you might want to consider hiring a Merc or two to provide security. Of course, cargo capacity alone doth not make a ship, and Misc has managed to do so much with such a tiny space frame. Let me explain. The outward appearance of the ship has the typical curves and smooth edges of classic Misc design. They've always favoured a design language that's smooth and rounded, but also exudes a muscular capability with large thrusters and a pleasing bulk of reliability and redundancy. It's a well put together ship that gleams in the sunlight with its exposed steel hull plating. The same can be said of the Hull A, despite its overall small proportions being 22 meters in length, 8 meters in beam, and 4 in height. That's extremely well put together, that nothing was overlooked and everything has its place. With a mass of 122,650 kilograms, it had better be. The ship has been designed around a single crewman, usually the owner in this case, and as a result features a side egress point, accessed via a deployable ladder. Once you're inside, you're greeted with the hybrid Airlock component access room. This will act as the main access point for all the components within the ship, as well as a functional and large airlock. The interior of the ship has a high-tech but utilitarian aesthetic with cool tones of blue-grey, accented with dark orange and white stripes. Molded panels shroud all but a few major pipes, and even then, there isn't a lick of rust or corrosion. To the starboard side, there's a generously sized locker capable of holding a suit for any EVA or harsh environment work. At the opposite end of the room, there are doors that act as the bridge and living quarters. The bridge is an all-Misc affair with large expansive consoles inlaid with MFDs and plenty of switches and buttons, but overall is a well-designed and pleasant space to be. Featuring the classic mail slot canopy design, the overall visibility is actually excellent, in no small part due to the larger slot size. This gives you more visibility while keeping the vibe of Misc. Now, whether or not you like the mail slot is up for debate, but the implementation here is sound. Starfarer, I'm looking squarely at you. Entering into living quarters, it's fair to say in this ship you will not be roughing it. Once again, owing to the design's attention to detail, everything a person would need to live aboard the ship for weeks at a time is present and correct. On the starboard side of the ship, there's a weapons locker allowing the owner to keep some personal protection on standby just in case. Moving along the same wall is a well thought out kitchen available for food preparation and consumption. On the port side, there are storage lockers that can be accessed, as well as a very cozy single bunk that doubles up as an escape pod if needed. Lastly, at the rear of the living space is a generously sized bathroom with all the amenities you might need on your long trade voyages out into the verse. When it comes to flight characteristics, the Hull A is still being tweaked, but at the time of recording, she reaches a maximum speed of 999 meters per second, and can achieve that in space within a reasonable amount of time. Slowing down as an equally slow but steady pace reminds you the Hull A isn't really about speed or maneuverability. Though the Hull A isn't exactly maneuverable, it is a forgiving enough ship with powerful RCS thrusters allowing for easy traversal in space. Equally in atmosphere, the ship can handle itself fairly well, reaching a modest airspeed of 100 meters per second on takeoff from Hurston, a planet with a relatively thick atmosphere, and more than enough horsepower to reach space in a practical amount of time. Quantum speed is equally a mid-tier affair, with the ship managing a reasonable pace but ultimately focusing on efficiency and maximising the 10,000 units of quantum fuel on board, so you can go from one end of the system to the other again and again and again. The Hull A really is the last word in function, utility and good looks in a starter tier ship, but none of that means anything if the price isn't right. Let's cut to brass tacks. The Hull A is marketed as a starter ship in serious trading and hauling, allowing someone interested an affordable way to get into this side of the game. At the time of recording, we don't actually have an in-game purchase price yet. That will likely be given to us in Alpha 3.18, but the cost of the purchase at hard currency is $80 or your regional equivalent. Given that the $70 Nomad can only carry 24 SEU of cargo and the $100 Cutlass Black can only carry 46 SEU, $80 seems like a reasonable price point to market the Hull A, and the expectations for an equally reasonable price in-game once it's released. So there you have it. Misc has knocked it out the park with their brand new Hull A with a solid, reliable ship filled with convenient features and great technology. If it's the benchmark to judge the rest of the Hull series by, then there are some incredible ships on the horizon. Thank you so much for watching. If you got this far, you frickin' rock. And if you think I did a good job, slap that like button and subscribe if you've not already done so. This channel is growing every single day, and it's thanks to all of you out there. If you've got any feedback, good or bad, feel free to share it in the comment section. And until the next video, stay safe and thank you so much for watching.